Okay, so I've started recording now. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to put for boys primary enrollment primary, then the same thing for this underscore this, then for girls, then I'm going to put the last one will be this class offered so sometimes as a data analyst, you can actually do database management. It's really stressful. So class offered variable, and then teacher, I can just say number of teacher assigned. I'll just say small letter, number of teachers assigned to. Now you can see the nomenclature underscore. So I'm just going to say primary and ECD. So I'll just say and ECD. Then I'm going to end it with variable character, and I'm done. So basically, this is it. I will create a procedure for this, and so in order for me to do that, all I just need to do is to say delimiter / I will now say create procedure. I'll say case underscore. Also, I'll just say create case. Or create study, and it's a function. I'll just make it as function. Then I will say begin. I'll end it, of course. I'll say end, then with a / then I'll type delimiter. So this is to make sure that everything runs as if I'm just running one code. So create procedure is one. This is a different query. So if I highlight everything, I am going to run it. You can see it's successful here. So I would so you can see it's successful here. Now, although it hasn't created the table yet, but if I refresh my schema, you can see that I have a procedure here called stored procedure. And what I just need to do is just to say use, then call the name of my procedure. I'll just say use study, I think. Then if so it said, is it use procedure? I forgot, I've not used it in a while, so I've forgotten what it is. So let me see. Use a procedure in SQL. Stored procedure. So I want to use it. Is it execute? No, that's not execute. Sorry about that. Let me see. It's not execute procedure. Sorry. I think I'll say create procedure mySQL or use procedure. Oh, call. Yeah, so it is. I will say call. So I'm calling my procedure, and by the time I run it, you can see it's successful. Now there's nothing here yet because I've not refreshed, and now that I've refreshed, you can see my table, the columns I created, everything I did here, you see it. And if you want, you can actually click on each of them, and under the information it will tell you the definition in terms of the name as well as the data type. Now that I'm done doing that, I want to load my data. Now my data is here. I want to download it. Now I'm going to download it as an, what do you think I should download it as? Who's going to suggest to me what you think I should download it as? Abraham? Khadija, I'm not hearing you. Anytime I don't hear, I only hear noise.
Download it as CSV.
Download it as CSV according to Abraham. Okay, good. So I'm going to do as Abraham said, as a CSV. So I've done that. Let's say I'm going to take it to, let me open it. I'm going to take it to somewhere. I want it to reside somewhere. I'm just going to copy it, or cut it rather, X, and I will take it to, let me see where I should take it to. I'll just take it to okay, Bradford. This, I'll take it to SQL, I'll take it to interview, and I am going to paste it here. Now mind you, I already have this data already. I will, for this intended purpose, I'm going to delete everything here. This is my data. I'll just right click and rename as case study, case underscore study. So this is CSV, right? How do you know that? Is because under the type you can see CSV. Now if I go to, I'll just copy this this path, my file path. How do I load it? What I can do is, as usual, I'll go to my table, right click on it, data import, and you have your wizard, your import wizard. I already have it here. It automatically took me to my file path where my data is. I'll click on case study, and next I already have the destination where the CSV is going to. So can you guys see the error there? Confirm if you can see the error. Okay, so it's saying error, unhandled execution, char map codec can't decode bytes, blah blah blah, in position this, character maps to undefined. And the reason is because this encoding is in UTF-8. Now unfortunately, because we have special characters there, as you can see. What was the special character? You can see check mark. You can see hashtag. You can see, I think you even see minus there. Look at minus here. And that's the reason why it is giving us that problem. So UTF doesn't support all of these special characters. These are called special characters. So the best thing for you to do is you download it as And this comma separated value is automatically in UTF-8. So you can go and open it and save it as UTF, just comma separated value. I'm very sure if I go to where my file is, if I right click and go to properties, you see it. Let's see if it has any more information. Let's see details. It's not really giving us anything. Okay, it's not really giving us anything, but it's in UTF-8. So you can open it in Excel and save as just comma separated value without the UTF-8. So I'll say F12 to save as. This is interesting. It's supposed to save as this, but I think it's saving as this. So if this is a problem, I'll just download it as Excel to avoid stories that touch. I'm just going to go back to my data and download it as Excel. Then from there, I will. And I did this by design. So this was basically by design. So I'm going to just open it. It's in my download. I will go to my file path because that's where I want to save it. Control C. I'm going to, this is the Excel now. Proper. I'll just F12 and save as CSV without UTF-8. So once I do that, this is my file path. I'll just paste it there. I'm going to replace this guy because I want to replace it, and I'm done. So by the time I go to my wizard, table data import wizard, I'll just go cancel it and I'll repeat the same process. So this already is already there because the file path is already there. So I'll just click on next, use existing table, next, and you can see that this was successful, and that was because the CSV, like I mentioned, was in UTF-8 and I just converted it to normal UTF, the CSV without the UTF. Now you can just check to see if it is well mapped. Oh, this is interesting. So I think I made a mistake. Instead of me to put primary class offered, I put just class offered. So that's a mistake I need to cure. Yeah, so basically everything looks the same. So except this. So that's a problem. I actually need to change it as well. So, but that is not, I can import my data next. Show logs. Everything looks well and fine. Next, and you can see 220 records imported, and I'm done. Please inform me as soon as you can no longer hear me. It's really important. Now, like I said, I made a mistake. This class offered is supposed to be ECD, no, primary. Ooh, I actually made plenty mistake. So this ECD class offered is a underscore primary. The primary is the one that's supposed to be here. So what I'm going to do now is to do what? I want to change the column name. So I'll say alter table. What's the name of my table? My table name is case underscore study. what did I want to do? I want to modify the column. I don't want to delete. I just want to modify column. I'll call the column name. And now the name is I'm too lazy to type. I'll just copy this. I'll paste it. Now I just want it to okay, sorry, Control Z. I'll now say to Control V, and I just want to remove this. I think that will be it. I think I am wrong. I'm supposed to also put the variable character, but I'm not sure. I'm curious. I'm not sure. To let's say it's 10, right? So you do have to also modify the data type, unfortunately, as well, I think. Oh, that's interesting. So again, I have forgotten. Let me go to SQL and check alter table. Let me see. I will go to mySQL and go down to alter table, modify column. Yikes. So I want to change how did they even used to do that, Seth? Hold on. Create table. They don't use these guys, they don't even used to try. Like they will not even give you they will not give you they usually will not give you a lot of so this is the data type, right? Okay, I think I don't need to enter the variable character itself, since sorry, hold on. Or is it equal? I'm not sure. It's not equal. Let me ask. Change column name. Change column name in mySQL. Alter table name. Oh, yeah. So is it? Oh, apologies. Many apologies. I'm not supposed to use modify. If I'm modifying column, I'm modifying the data type, I'm supposed to use rename. Apologies for that. So if I'm modifying, I'm just modifying the data type. So I want to do two modifications. The first one that I made a mistake, and the second one from classes offered to primary underscore classes offered. Now I'm getting an error because I actually need to use this same rename like that again. So everything is looking nice and fine. I'm just going to run it, and everything is fine until I now do select all, and I'm going to create a procedure for this because I don't want to have to be doing that every time. From my case underscore study. Now I can see my table. I can see that everything, my primary class offered, ECD class offered, instead of ECD class offered primary, then class offered. You can see I've already modified it. So excuse me. So like I said, I'm going to create a procedure. I'm too lazy. I'm just going to copy and because I don't want to have to be typing this every time, I just want to call. So I'm just going to copy. Yep. So the name of this procedure will just be just case study, just case, or I can just say study. Or I'll say view study. Just make sure you name it something that you would remember. And by the time, so under my database stored procedure, I only have create study. I'm going to run this now, and if I refresh, you can see view study. All I now want to do anytime I want to call this particular select all query, I'll just say call view underscore study, and I don't need to write the select all from table. So this is it. Now they said we should remove in the case study, they said we should remove bad or missing data. So the first thing I'm going to do is to do some replacement. I'll do some replacement. So our data set has some of this stuff here. Something like this particular, I don't know what that is. So it has a check, like a check icon. So I'm just going to go to my database itself and do, sorry, excuse me, my table. Okay, so there's question mark. So I will copy this question mark. I want to remove question mark. I don't know if it is in the data set itself. That's interesting. So I'm assuming that this question mark is, let me see. Okay, so there's the question mark and there's the check, but I just want to check for the non-available. If the first two, which is Yisa school at the nomadic school, Alona or Road, I'm just going to check if it is okay. So I think it is mistaking this check as question mark, the problem with CSV. So I'm just going to copy it and copy. Now, what I want to do is to replace, so the check mark, which is like good, it means yes, usually, right? Anytime you see check, it means good or yes. So I'm going to now select all from case underscore study. I would say where non-available equal to this question mark. I just want to see it. So I have a lot of question mark, and I can just randomly size them. I can randomly size them to see if the question mark is actually a check. So I'll just go to this Siluco village here just to check. So I'll just say Control F. Silu, is this Siluco? Aha. So see the Siluco village, and under it is the check mark. So what it means is yes, and I can randomly size, like literally just randomly size. There is the Mission Road Udo, which is this. I just want to check if Udo primary secondary Udo. So I'll just go back here and search for Udo. and I have 8 entries. Aha, so this is the Udo primary secondary, and it's a check. So it's just to randomly check that this is actually a get mark, like a check mark that is correct. So I will now say I want to update my table, which is case underscore study. I want to set on non-AVL equal to yes. Right, so yes, where non-available is equal to what? Question mark. So when you're trying to alter data, you have to make sure that you are really, that's what you want to really do. So I'm going to run this, and I will still do this select again to see. It means that it doesn't exist any longer. So I'm now going to check for that same question mark in the available and see if it exists. And it does exist, and I can do a random check, but I think by now we should have agreed that this is the question mark here is actually a check. So but I can see Iyakara Road, Warake. But again, what do I know? Let me check. I'll search Iyakara, yeah, Warake, and for the available you can see the check, and I can do another random check. Let's see this. Let me copy it and Control F, Control V, and you can see it here. The check. So at random, the check means yes, right? When you do check, good, yes, or so. So I can then do an alter if I'm now sure. I can then do an alter. I'll just copy this. I'll update it and paste it here. Where set this AVL is equal to yes, where AVL is this. I'm going to run it. I'm now going to check if any of the question mark exists, and we can then see that it doesn't, and then I can then call my data set and just do a random so this character, the V, is now appearing. So the V is usually yes. So I am just going to copy and paste again. I'll copy it. I don't need to view. I know that the check mark is yes. So I will just copy this and paste it somewhere and say, copy this guy here. And I'll say set it to yes where this is, whatever this is. And I'm going to run it. It may have 17 rows has been changed. I'll copy this, I'll paste it here for AVL available. And paste it. About 5 rows has changed. And I will just call my table again and just do like a random assessment. Now I'm going to assume that if they say dash, it means no. This dash. Now there's empty cells, but they are specifically putting dash. I would assume that it means no. I would do replacement. Let me see. So I'm gonna copy this, paste it here, come here, copy and paste it, and it is no. try to, and I'll run it. I'll copy again and run it just to be safe. We actually don't need that data for anything, but again, we're just doing data cleaning, right? So because they ask you to clean the data and run it, and I can then call my procedure as view_study, end it with a semicolon as usual, and run it, and it seems good. Basically, yeah, we have P. I would assume P means present. I'm going to do the assumption. P means present. I'm assuming. So, Control Z, Control C, paste, and I would copy this and paste it here. I would say yes. If I'm sure, I'll run it, and I'll copy for non-available as well. I'll paste it. I'll say n and n_, run it. I can then call my table. So the next thing I'm going to do is available is yes, non-available, not available is no. So the assumption now will now be where available is yes, not available should be no. Where not available is yes, available should be no. So I'm going to update my table again, and I'll say set available to be yes where none set available to be no, no where none not available is yes. Or I can say, since we have capital and small letter, I would say I'll now say bracket open bracket close. I would say yes, then comma. I would say capital yes. I don't know if there's any other one again. If there's yeah. So I'll now say update. I'll run. It worked. I will do the same thing for not available. I'll say, and gonna run it. Then I'm going to call my set. Now you can see that unlike before, we now have some populated data that is looking like it's making sense. Again, I want to cancel, what is this? So I want to set all of them to be either capital or small letter, just to be safe. What is this? Does this look like something? Oh, it is something. I am going to remove that. Aha, see question mark again. That should be yes. This should be yes. I don't know why that didn't appear for not available. Let me go to the question mark part. Is this a different kind of question mark? Hold on. Oh, okay. Oh, this one is with space. That is why. Huh. Interesting. Just one rule affected and view. I think everything is fine. I also want to set so the small letter yes is different from capital letter yes. So I want to update everything to be either capital or small letter. So I'll say set this I don't know to do where again. I'll just say set this is equal to, so do we make it upper or lower casing? I'm going to run this. It worked fine. I'll do the same thing for available. I'll say lower casing. Everything should be in lower casing. And I'm now going to view my table again. And you can see that everything is in lower case. Sorry, excuse me. So what did they say now? Okay, the other thing they said is for us to do some removal. Now, Jessica, good morning. How are you?
Fine, fine, fine.
Yeah, welcome.
Afternoon.
So, good afternoon. So you see this data that is empty here. I'm going to delete it because we are trying to do analysis of school and it's empty data. I'm just going to remove it. So what I'm now going to do is I'll say to remove that role, I'll say um, I think it's delete from then case underscore study, where school is null. Right. Is it not null or empty? Let me try this. If it doesn't work, um mm, so okay, zero row affected, and that's because I don't think that place was null. I think it was just empty. Oh, I think it has deleted it. So to check, we know we loaded 120 rows of data. I'm going to check. I'll do a count of everything. From case study. Oh, we have 220. It has not deleted. So I'm going to say where school is equal to, I'll just say space there. Hopefully this is not really null. This is just empty space. I am going to run it again and I'll do a count. Now we've deleted data. You can see from 220 it is 219. I'll do a view again and I'm sure that I've deleted that data. Now, the other one is anything that is not zero, right? Anything that is not zero here is not, anything that is zero is a number. But anything that is empty here, I think we have empty cells. So you can see empty cells, different empty cells here. In fact, look at this value. Is I don't even know what it's doing there. There is I believe that there are empty cells there as well. Yeah, so you can see empty cells here. So I want to get rid of those as well. I'll do that because they asked me to do that. So I'll say so I've deleted from school. I'm going to delete from this particular column oh wow, this is interesting. Again, I'll just pick it from this place here. Yep. Let me just copy all of this and paste it here so that because I want to use them. So this is what I want to use. If it is empty, delete. I'll run it again. It has run, one affected. If I do a count, I can see 218 now. So I'm just going to do that for the rest out for the other columns. I think I'm done with this. So I'll just delete it. I need this particular column. Again, I can keep checking. So I'm now in 212. I'll just delete this. I don't need it. Let me copy this. I think this one is girls, right? So it will be girls. So this one doesn't have empty. I'll delete this because I'm done with it. I'm gonna copy. And for this is ECD class offered. I'm gonna paste it here. I'll run. Then the last one is primary. I am going to primary run it. Okay. Primary class offered. So it's telling me an error. I don't know what that error is, but let me check. Oh, so it's saying that it's not there. Let me see. Oh, it is there, unless I don't know what this is. Control C. Or maybe I entered something wrong, but it is there. Control V. Okay, Control Z. Again, I'm going to run it and see. It's saying that unknown column. Interesting. How did they ways to get the column self? Seriously, unknown column. That's interesting. Let me see. I think show columns. This show columns. I think this show column. Let me see. I think I want to just show the column. Show columns in mySQL. Oh, I have to name. Okay, so I think I have to name the where I'm showing my columns on show columns from case underscore study. Whoops. Okay, see the column here. Let me copy and paste it somewhere. Primary. Oh, classed. Interesting. That's interesting. So I was the one that made mistake. 0. So that's fine. We are done with that. We also have the issue of that value thing. Where is it? I think it's hashtag value. See it here. So this one is for primary enrollment girls, and I think there's enrollment boys and girls too. So I would do the delete for that. Just gonna copy this. Control Z, Control C, Control V, and I'll just say Control X, and I'm going to paste it here, run it. 1 was affected. I'm just going to copy it, and I think ECD boys, girls too. Any questions? You are the only one you can ask questions. So. Sorry?
I'm not seeing anybody again. They're all gone. I
Yes.
just answered the call briefly now. Okay. Okay.
Any questions?
No, no question. I've done up to this part. The one I want to get.
Okay, so let's see what you can mute now. So we have 210.
Yes, I have, because I uploaded my, what do you call it? My those the integer parts. The type was integer for me, so it didn't even load into those ones that you were trying to clean. So I now had 210 that loaded. I now removed the empty score, so I ended up with 209.
Interesting. Okay. So I think I have 210, but I think I'm supposed to have 209 the last time I solved this problem. I'm not sure. But I will check what is the issue again. Everything looks fine. There's one that is looking very funny, something like LGA or something like that. If I'm correct, I'm supposed to see it somewhere. So this LGA of, no, not this LGA office. I think they are like, so I'm going to rank them by, there was one that was looking very funny. The name was so funny, and it wasn't just so this dash, I'll remove it. Yeah. Ooh, see space here. Okay, I'm going to remove this dash as well. I believe once I remove this dash would go off. I would so this is primary school offered for boys. I'll click on I'm gonna paste it here. I would run it, and 1 has been affected. For all intended purpose, I'm going to copy it and paste this back and leave it that way. And yeah, So I think our data is complete. I think we can then do whatever kind of analysis we want to do for our data. Yeah, so if we do a count of our data set, we now have 209. From 220, we now have 209. And we can then answer the first question, really. So it says, please very briefly summarize how many schools you admitted for bad stroke missing data. So we eliminated about 11. But how do we know that? I am going to how do we represent the first question in like an actual in an actual sense? How do we represent that particular data in an actual sense? What we can do is I can create another table called study. I'm still going to upload the same data. It's saying a procedure called study exists. Okay, so I'll just say case study underscore 1, and I'm going to create a table. Oh, so I'm supposed to, oh, it's running the whole this thing. I'm just supposed to say study. And let me see. If I highlight, I think if I run it, yeah, so it's successful now. I can go to my table and view study 1. I'll right click and import that same data, which I already have. Click on next, click on next. I really am not going to do anything with this, just import and finish. Next and finish. Now, I have the raw data up there, right? I can then, so if I do select all from study 1, which is the raw data, this is what I'm going to get. Now I will just do a count of it and run it. So I have 220. So what I can then do is I can do a just to know the difference between or how many data I deleted, right? So from this, the new or the clean data set, we have 209. So we can do like a little math somewhere around here. I will cut this actually. So we have 209 for the current case study, and we have 220 for the raw data. So we can do like a minus, like a subtraction. So I can say select, right, and I would say I'm going to encase this one. I'm going to encase it. And I'll say minus, and I'm going to encase this other one. And I'll say as deleted data. I'll just say number of deleted data. So basically, I'm just doing a count of raw data and a count of cleaned data as deleted data, and I can just run it like this, and you can see that my number of deleted data is what, 11. So it's a tricky way to actually answer the first question. So the first question, I can just copy my question. So how many bad data were deleted? So in SQL, you can actually represent it. So I did a count of the raw data, count of the clean data, and I'll just use select and just do a minus and encapsulated it. Basically, I've solved this question. So this is the response to this first question. So to the second question, it says, how many total schools are left in the data set? That's a very simple question to respond to, right? Again, I am going to just copy everything because I'm lazy like that. No, I don't want to copy everything. I just want to copy from this place to this place. Yeah. I'm gonna paste. And number 2 is this person here. Number 2. So if they ask what's the data left, I'll just copy this. This is the data left, right? And I'll run it and this. So I can then say from case study, I'll just say as data, as number of data left. Data left. And you can see I've gotten the response to my second question. The third question, I'm just going to say / asterisk, and I'll end it with asterisk and / What is the percentage of school of all the total? What's the percentage of total school? What percentage of total school have a total enrollment? That is, by total enrollment, it says total enrollment is the total of both primary and ECD enrollment of greater than 200 students. Now, from our data set, what they are talking about is this enrollment ECD boys and girls, primary enrollment boys, primary enrollment girls. The total of it, that's what it's asking. So he said total enrollment is both primary and ECD enrollment. So whether boys or girls, so this, and this. So I'm going to create a column for that, or better still, I can do subqueries. Since the goal is actually to treat subqueries, I can do subqueries. I can create a pseudo column called total enrollment. I'll say what will I say? I'll say select sorry, excuse me. I would say select all, comma. I want to do a sum of ECD. Again, I'm going to copy this. Let me see. Yeah, I'll copy this column. I think if I'm correct, I can do this. And if I'm correct, I've forgotten how I think I did it somewhere, but I'm very sure it should work. Comma, girls. So as total, it should give me an error, but I'm expecting it to work. I will now say from case underscore study. It's going to give me an error. I'm sure of that, but what do I know? I think I'm supposed to use plus here, I think it's plus and plus, something like that. Oh, yeah, so I'm supposed to use plus. I'll now say as total enrollment. Actually, if I use plus there, I don't even need sum. Actually don't need sum there. I really don't need sum here. Yep, I don't need sum. Then I'll run it. I can then see my total enrollment here. They are now saying that which one is greater than this one, greater than or equal to 200, the summation of the number. So I can then use having, because I want to call an aggregate. This is an aggregate alias. So I'll say having total enrollment greater or equal to what, 200. Now I'm going to run it. It will now give me those ones that are greater or equal to 200. Right. So it's now saying that what is the percentage of the total school? What percentage of the total school have a total enrollment of this? So what is this saying? Now I will do a count of this guy. I'll just do a count, right? So in order for me to do a count, I'll just say I'll create a subquery. I will just say select. I'll now say count all. From now, this guy is my subquery. This query that I created now is now my subquery. I'll now say as enrollment greater than 2.
So we can't hear you.
At what point couldn't you hear me, please?
Like 5 minutes. We sent you a message through the message. You didn't respond. Like 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
I said if you couldn't hear me, you should have mentioned. If you send me a message, I wouldn't pay attention to the message.
Okay, but we'll be following. So
Abraham, you wanted to say something?
yes, she couldn't hear you, so that was why what he sent to the message. So
Yeah, I couldn't hear you, and then when I tried to talk, I discovered my mic was not enabled. It's like you switched it off, so I had to go off and come back.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. At what point in time couldn't you hear me?
I think from when you started the sub query, that's the second the sub
Okay,
query,
so
yes.
the subquery. But did you understand the subquery in itself? This
Yes.
sub this subquery, this first subquery is going to give me I did a summation of ECD enrollment boys and girls, primary enrollment boys, primary enrollment girls. That is what I did. That have a total enrollment of greater than or equal to 200. If I run it, let me see. Okay, so I think I'm supposed to do this. Oh, no. Okay, so let me just do it on its own. I'll just highlight this. Okay, no. Let me first highlight this. Run. So these are total enrollment, which is what we did here, that is greater than or equal to 200. Now, what we want to do is want to do a count of it. We want to know the total count. So we created it as a subquery. Do you understand? When we
Yes,
created
sir.
it as a subquery, we now do a select count of all the rows from this first subquery that we've already segmented out, which is what we did here, and we got the number 142. Hey, wait, why is it showing me error? Oh, so I'm not supposed to end it with this first. I think I'll just copy here like this to this place and run it. Now we got 142 enrollment greater than 200, right? Now they said what percentage of this total enrollment greater than 200, what percentage is it of all of the data set? So which is why we now did a select, encapsulated this first query, then divided it by this second query that we did here is a count of the total data set. 209. So we are just doing 142 divided by 209. Then since it's in percentage, we are now converting it to multiply by 100. Now, if I run this, it's going to give me 67.9 this, but you can round it off. So I can just say so I will just say round, and I am going to add another this time around I'll just say to 2 decimal, and I'll run it again. So I now have 67.9, or if you want it to be 0, you can just take it to 67.68%. So percentage greater than percentage enrollment greater than 200 or more, greater or equal. So I can say percentage enrollment greater or equal. So greater or equal is 68%, and that's how you respond to the second question. So it's a kind of it's a tricky way, but you can see how I use subquery and how I use count, and I did select and turn it into a simple calculation we can actually use. So let's see. This is the fourth question. The fourth question says, what percentage total have enough teacher assigned to those schools such that the ratio of teacher assigned to total class offered, that's total class offered is both ECD and primary class offered, is at least 1. What are they saying? I'm going to say call view underscore study. I'll just call it. Why am I okay? I didn't spell my view correctly. So it's saying that the ratio of what teacher to this total here, the total of ECD class offered to this is at least 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is to say select all the column, comma. I'll now do a sum of ECD underscore primary classes, ECD underscore classes underscore offered plus primary underscore, it's supposed to be classes. I mistakenly wrote class offered. I will now say as total classes offered. Right. I will now say from my class, my table. So from case underscore study. Now, when I do that, I've created a pseudo column for total class offered. Now, the next thing I want to do is they say ratio of teacher to this guy. So I'll now do I'll do a ratio, right? Which is I'll say to. So here now I can then say this total. I can do the calculation here. I don't need to create some subquery, at least for now. So I'm just going to go to my table where I created my table and just copy this. It's a long, well, but what can we do? So I can then say divide by, and I will now say as what? Teacher to class ratio. I'll say TTCR. This is going to give me that. And I'll run it. I'll go and check my teacher to class ratio is, you know, now they said at least the percentage of this teacher to class ratio that is at least 1. So which one is at least 1? I will now say where having now, because I'm using aggregate, I don't want to copy the whole of this and say have where this. I'll just because I want to use this alias. I'll just say where TTCR is greater or equal to 1, and I'll run it. It's going to filter for me again. Can we then see that the one that is 1 is what is showing here? What am I going to do now? I'm going to count it the way I counted this. So I'll make it what? A subquery. Right? I will now say, I want to count now. I'll say total total TTCR from my subquery. And if I run it, I will, oh God, what? Yeah. Why is it giving me an error? Oh, an alias. Please always remember. You can give it any name, the new table. So I have gotten my total TTCR as 59. What do I want to do? I want to do my math again. They said percentage, right? So I'm just going to copy this guy to this place like this. Because I'm too lazy. I'll paste and I'll do I'll encapsulate this and I'll say select. Right. And I'm supposed to name it as something so that it doesn't give me I'll say as percentage TTCR, and I'm going to run it. So I have the percentage of teacher to class ratio that is at least 1 from the total data set is what? 0.28, or you can round it up if you want. I'll just say round and I'll put a I'll say comma. I'll now say maybe 2 or maybe 0, end it and run it. Oh, I'm not supposed to say 0. I'm supposed to say like 1. I have 0.3%. Does that make sense? So our advice, maybe I'll do I really have to go now, but I'll do a session for the rest of the question, if that is fine. Abraham, do you have any questions?
No, none for now, sir.
But the question I wanted to ask you is, have you done your revision on what I discussed with you guys yesterday? I'm going to stop recording.
I'm going to start
Sorry?
it. I will do the revision.